Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm so sorry I can't really switch on my video right now.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem at all, man. No problem. No problem. How's everything,
Okay.
bro? How's everything?
All good. All good. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. So yeah, you say you got some questions for me regarding the programming.
So just a brief rundown. I started studying in September last year.
Okay.
Before then, I was doing manufacturing, but I switched because like I already have like a background in maintenance. So my background is I studied a bachelor's degree in Russia.
Okay.
But the problem is like because of the situation, to an extent, like my degree might not really do much for me. That's what I think, though. But that's part of the questions that I have for you, right? So now I'm trying to just get the diploma, use the pathway to just like get the license right now, right? And I wanted to first of all know what you did as an international student because I understand you came in as an international student.
Yeah.
You were studying as an international student,
Yes.
and part of the things I want to know is like before you graduate, there are like internships, there are like work to do in the summer. How were you able to navigate that, right?
Okay. Yeah. So starting off with your first question regarding the Russian degree you got. Sadly enough, for you to be able to even transfer any type of license because you didn't have a license back in Russia,
Yeah.
and the minimum requirements to be able to transfer your license is 4 years of working experience as a licensed person. So sadly enough, since you don't have that, right, you
Mm-hmm.
might have to go through the school route. So going back to school and study for 2 years and get your diploma and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, how I navigate to the through the the international experience. Starting off, it was a really tough one for me. Like I told people my story. I came here as a really young age, trying to figure out everything.
Yeah.
But what really helped me out was, I put myself around people that had the same mentality, people that had the same goal, people that were, helpful to me. That really helped me out. And for the internship, it might not be easy, but it depends on the school you go to. I know a lot of schools have collaborations with bigger companies. So
Okay.
whereby, let's say your first year, after your first year, you can actually do an internship. So they will actually send you for an internship. All you gotta do is submit your resume to the school, and for the most part, from what I know, they always do it like they always choose the candidates through an academical order. So the people that have the best, let's say
Result.
exactly best result, best GPA, they consider those candidates first. And
Okay.
that internship is a really good one, man. Like I know the school I went to, which is Centennial College.
I'm also a sentinel college, yeah.
Oh, even perfect. Yeah. But now they have, I think it's a 6 month internship. Before they usually had a year internship, and the good thing was not only can you get your logbook signed through that internship, but also it counts towards your licensing, or your hours for your
Okay.
licensing. So it speed up the process for you a little bit faster. But now I believe it's a 6 month internship now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good one. Centennial College, from my experience, I mean there are pretty good schools out there in Canada, but from my experience, I went to Centennial and I really like it. The product.
So the thing is, like, there's this program that they have right now called
Yeah.
Will. I think it's Work Integrated Learning, and the program is with Air Canada. But then the issue is, it's actually restricted to domestic students.
So they change it.
So that's probably the case because
I think
the
the
way you're
problem
sounding,
is,
I think they made it open to international and domestic in your
yeah,
time.
yeah. I think the problem is for you to be able to, because it's considered as a working experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might need a work permit because when I did my internship, it was just a like this. It was a pretty new. Actually, they started from my group, right? So it was a 3 days internship. But back then our study permit was like a 20 hours per week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was still within the limit. So when they started like the 1 year internship, 6 month internship, you need an actual work permit. It's
I
because
see.
yeah, because the study permit only gives you 20 years of working per week, and you are limited to working full time because that internship is like a full time working what's called experience. So you're going to be working like Monday to Friday. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's like way more than 40 hours. Unless if you can apply for a work permit. I don't know how it works because I didn't do that process. Because I know some guys did apply for a temporary work permit. So if you can apply for a work permit with your internship, that might help a lot. But apart from that, you're kind of limited to the internship program because you need a
So
yeah,
yeah, so the wheel program, yeah,
yeah,
it starts from June to September. So it's basically
three
three
months.
months. It's not really a lot,
Yeah,
and that's just one. Two is the when I spoke to the professors about it, they were like, as an international student, everybody requires the rate. So the rate is harder to get for international students
yeah.
because it takes time,
Yeah,
right?
that's another thing because they got to do a background check. They got to do a background check, and it's hard to do like an international student background check because you're not really in the system yet. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
another
mhm.
factor. Yeah, that's another factor that might slow down a little bit.
So what do you really recommend? Because honestly, I could go ahead to do other jobs,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to get some experience in the summer, right? As much as possible before graduating.
For me personally, what I will advise you is you can look into smaller airports, airports that do a lot of M1 what's it called planes, so smaller pistol planes.
Mm-hmm.
They do have an unpaid like internship. So you work there for like 2 days, but you don't get paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad that you don't get paid for it, but hey, that will help you out a lot on your resume. You know what I mean? Especially when you once you graduate, it's going to help you out a lot. I know there are a couple of them in Woodbine. There's also one in Oshawa. Actually, one of the subscribers guy was talking about it yesterday on my live video.
Yeah.
There's one in Oshawa. Just Google it, the small airport in Oshawa, and you see a bunch of M1 companies. Just
Okay.
go there. Don't apply online. Me personally, I don't think applying online is the best route. Go there, print out your resume, and
Okay.
drop it in person. Tell them your situation, and also don't tell them that you're trying to work for free. You know what I mean? Let's see what the options is.
Yeah.
Tell them like,
Okay.
okay, I'm limited to 20 hours per week. And also like I'm just trying to build up my experience, get some experience in aviation, so that way once I graduate, I can have
Yeah.
something on my resume. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
another option. Another option is maybe you can get a job in like maybe like a car mechanic or something. I know that does not count towards your AME licensing, but that gives you some type of hands-on experience. And
Yeah.
that might look good on your resume too. Because for me, it's like whenever I advise people, I'm trying to give them leverage when you graduate. Those are the things I did not have when I graduated. And that kind of pushed me back a little bit in terms of finding a job. But you
Yeah.
having some type of hands-on experience, it goes a far way because companies when they hire you as an apprentice, they don't expect you to know everything in aviation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you having some type of hands-on experience will give you some leverage too. You know, so getting like a car mechanic part-time job might help a lot. But I want to advise you: do not pass that 20 hours a week regulation. That
Okay.
shit, I'm telling you, that shit really messed up a lot of people. People could not get their postgraduate work permits because the immigration officer found out they worked more than 20 hours. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
they're actually paying a lot of attention to that stuff, and they can find out through your taxes, your tax return, your SIN number, all that. They can find those information through that. So try not to pass that 20 hours a week. And also, Another option you can do is try to look for MRO companies. So MRO companies are like small organizations that do a lot of heavy check. I can
Okay.
send you some emails. Once we end this
Oh,
call, I can send you some emails. But the problem is, the contacts I have are in Quebec. They're not in Ontario, so I don't know
okay.
if that will be comfortable for you. But that could be a great option. I know there is one in Ontario. I will see if I can find the email for you, but I know the company. I can send you the name of the company and see if we can find the
So
age.
for those ones that are outside, I cannot really go in person to apply, right? So it might have to be me. Like for
Apply.
Oshawa, for Hamilton, I could actually like apply, go in person.
Yeah.
But for these ones, it's going to be a little hard, right? Don't you
Yeah,
think?
true, true. But there's one in Ontario. It's called KF Aerospace. It's a heavy maintenance facility, and I have heard they do. It's actually right beside Mohawk College, so
Yeah,
it's in
yeah, in
Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, in Hamilton. So I heard they actually have a collaboration with Mohawk College, so they hire people right from school from Mohawk. So that could
Yeah.
be another good option. You can check them out and see if you can get like a part-time internship there. But those are your two best. I know it's really hard for international students, but like we are so limited to what we can actually, the offers we can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the best option, like I said, the first one is try to look for like smaller M1 companies. There are a bunch of them in Woodbine. Just Google Woodbine Airports. I went there. When I was looking for a job, that was one of my options. I went there, dropped my resume, but I did not get it. But that's another option. There's one in Oshawa. Just
Okay.
Google Oshawa Airport, and you should see a bunch of M1 companies there.
Mm-hmm.
Another option is, like I said, the MRO companies. There's one called KF Aerospace. I can text you everything after this call. I can text you. That one is called KF Aerospace. That's a
Okay.
that's a good one you can check out. And the last option is if you can get like some type of car mechanic job experience,
Yeah,
because
I'm sending you my email to this the chat right now.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I will see how I can help you out too, and we
Yeah,
can
that would be really nice. That would be really nice. So, in terms of like, apart from this intermediate like summer looking for jobs,
yeah.
like, how did you really cope like after school getting to find a job? How long did it take you? What do you think like? What do you think is the best way to go about finding a job when you leave school as an international student, of course?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. For me, it was tough, and I'm being honest with you. Back then, the job opportunities were really less. A lot of my friends changed career path, and that was because they could not find a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were not even international students; they were actually Canadians, PR orders. And that was back then. That was like 7 years ago. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
now I'm telling you, our job opportunity is way more better. Like it's way more. Of course, you got to do a lot of sacrifice. And one of the mistakes I made was I was not ready to leave Toronto. Like because I didn't have that many friends. Most of my friends were all in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't want to move to Toronto, move out of Toronto. But guess what? There was a lot of job opportunities in Halifax, in Calgary, in
Yeah.
Montreal. But you know what I mean. But I was still limited to my geography. And guess what? I was competing with like 200 people graduating that same year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I didn't have any type of leverage, no type of experience that make me stand out. So the first thing I would say, man, like be ready to move to like different provinces. Try to get that first job anywhere. It's a lot of sacrifice, but it's something that will pay at the end of the day, man. Because you just applying for jobs in Ontario, man, you're so limited. And I'm telling you, aviation, from my opinion, I feel like there's more job opportunities in Quebec for aviation. But the only problem is, as an international student that does not speak French, that could be a problem because of your PR application. You know,
Yeah.
so
So you might need to know French
exactly, that's another problem, and it's not for working for the companies. The companies, they don't prioritize language. I'm just talking about the PR application. you know.
Yeah.
But regardless, there's still a lot of English speaking provinces that they have a job opportunity. Halifax is one of them. There's a company called Jazz Aviation. It's a heavy
Mm-hmm.
maintenance facility. They hire a lot of apprentice right out of school. That's something you can look into. And
Okay.
also, before you graduate, like 2 months, 3 months before graduation, you want to start pitching out your resume. You want to start sending out your resume, and that's something I made also. I waited to last minute before I started looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And that thing it slowed me down a lot, man. It slowed me down a lot. Another thing is, I know people do this, but I don't know how effective it is. So let's say your goal is to work for like an airline company.
Mm-hmm.
You can. Some companies do have like a internal transfer within the company. You
Okay.
know. So what you can do is maybe you can get like a baggage job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a part time, because they do have part time offers too. You can get like a cleaner or a baggage, and once you graduate, right, you can do like an internal transfer into maintenance. That could be another
So, but the MROs you were talking about, is it not also like the baggage jobs that you're gonna do there?
in MRO companies are different from. I mean, yeah, MRO companies are like they do a lot of maintenance jobs. They don't do transportation.
Okay.
They only do C checks, H checks. So the aircraft comes in, is scheduled for an heavy maintenance, maintenance, right? They,
Yeah.
they they do only the maintenance. They don't take care of. So it's a contract. So most of those MRO companies are contractors. They contract with like major airlines and they do their maintenance for them. You know what I mean?
I
So
see.
it's a
Okay.
different organization. So for the airline companies, I know people. I figured it out when I graduated that people were doing this. So they get into the company as a cleaner or a baggage person because they do have part time there. So they do
Yeah.
that for the time being they're in school, and once they graduate, they try to do an internal transfer to maintenance. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that could be another option if your goal is to work for a bigger company. But what I gotta say is you gotta start applying for jobs before you graduate. You know, instead of applying for jobs online, try to drop it in person. That goes a long way.
Okay.
And that's something I made, man, because you got to find a way to stand out from people. You know what I mean? Like all the
Yeah.
people you're in class with right now, it might sound so vague, but you are in competition with them when it comes to job opportunity. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
got to figure out a way to stand out and put yourself out there and make yourself more valuable to these companies. So dropping your resume in person goes a long way, and also connection with your friends, your classmate. Because the job I have right now, I tell people, man, the person that I was in class with 8 years ago, because I kept in contact with him, we're talking daily, is the one that gave me this job, that got me this job. He gave me a reference, and that's how I got the job. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So being in contact with your friends, even after graduation, you never know who's gonna help you out and get you that opportunity, man. You
Yeah.
know, and also try to get like a driver license, or radio license. That can be of a good leverage on your resume, also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so
No,
much. I think I got so much to do from
and
what you just told me, and I will
anytime,
work on
man.
it.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. For that internship, I know it's a little bit sad, but trust me, there's always a way, bro. There's always a way. The
Yeah.
options I gave you, try to see if you can work something out from there. It's not gonna be easy, but it's possible. And if it does not work out, it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
and there's always gonna be another opportunity somewhere else.
I'm really positive. I think one of these options will definitely work out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just gonna need like some going around. It would have been easier if, of course, if I drive, but
Yeah,
I will still find a way around it to get it done.
yeah, for sure.
And I will keep you updated as well.
Sounds good, man. And I'm going to send you the names of those companies, and if I can get an email for you, I will send it to you. All right.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a
Thank you
lot. Yeah.
so much,
All
man.
right. We'll keep in touch. Take care.
All right.
Bye bye. Yeah. All right, guys, if you're trying to become an aircraft maintenance engineer and you need someone to guide you through to answer your questions, to learn from my mistakes, I do offer free consultation like this. You don't got to pay nothing. All you got to do is text me on Instagram and we can schedule a call like this. All right. For you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Peter. I'm an aircraft maintenance engineer. If you find my channel helpful, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys.